Well, hello, my friends. I'm excited to be here with Chris Mehaffey. He is the CEO, Scout Executive for Scouting America. It's good to see you here, Chris. I think it's been about a year, but thanks for joining me.
My pleasure, Andy. Thanks for having me again today.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to talk about some new and exciting things happening in your organization, but I do want to start off with asking you a little bit about who you serve, and then we're going to talk about the Big Give Luncheon coming up here shortly.
Awesome. So we serve children from kindergarten through the senior year in high school. We've got programs for every age group. One of the really cool new things that we've got is for every Eagle Scout that graduates in the state of Nebraska and is an Eagle Scout and then stays in state to go to one of 30 colleges or universities, there's an automatic $3,000 scholarship a year, up to 4 years, to
Wow.
help those young people go to school. So scouting's doing a lot of great things in their lives and now helping them with
Yeah.
their post-secondary education. And we're really excited about that.
Yeah, that's big. That's big. Well, speaking of big, let's talk about the Big Give Luncheon coming up here on Wednesday, December 4th. How many years?
This will be
Okay,
each
eight.
time that we've put this event together, and it's become a really great event for us in December. It's a way for us to not only raise dollars to help support the mission of the organization, but to tell the scouting story.
Yeah,
Sometimes we do ourselves the biggest disservice by meeting in the basements of churches or in school cafeterias at night, and we're not out as much as what we really should be. So we've got three really great stories to share of what scouting has done in young people's lives and in families' lives.
yeah,
This past year, and then our keynote speaker is going to be Rudy Rudiker from the
yeah.
movie Rudy, Notre Dame fame. We've got a lot of Notre Dame fans here in the metro area. So we're going to be at CHI, 11:30 kickoff that day. And it should be a great hour and a half luncheon.
Yeah, absolutely. And what a great keynote. I'm very well aware of Rudy. I mean, I've seen the movie as well, but what a great story to share on that on December 4th. So let's talk about who typically comes to this luncheon. Is there a charge involved for this luncheon?
Now, this event is unique to Omaha. We don't typically charge for lunch. We do offer sponsorships for
Sure.
tables of eight. $5,000 sponsorship will get you on the front row and an Eagle
Okay.
Scout to sit with you and talk about their scouting experience and that type of thing. And there's a couple of other levels. But we also want those that maybe have had a scouting affinity in the past or an alumni of the organization to come back and connect with us in this way. Hear the great stories that we've got of things that are happening here in the Mid America Council and connect with us again.
Yeah, absolutely. So December 4th, website is bsabiggive.org. So you can find information all about the event, sponsoring a table, and all that good stuff. So why don't let's talk a little bit. Well, you shared with me before we started recording just some new and exciting things that are happening in addition to the scholarships you just shared. So tell us more about that.
Yeah, I'm happy to tell you more about the good things we've got going on. One of the newest programs that we have started, and it wasn't started here, it was started in Columbia, Missouri. It's Invention Scouts, and it's
Okay.
taking technology and using scouting principles and some of the lessons that we teach and using technology to engage students. We've learned through national studies that the phone that most kids have now, that is our biggest competition. Every youth serving organization, that's the biggest competition. So if we can engage children in with technology and get them interested in things early in life, not only does that help them be engaged in the scouting program, but we've got a workforce development issue here in
Yeah.
our state. And this is a way that we can take technology and get kids engaged at a really early age and show them there's some great career paths that you can take by learning to program a computer that maybe then will run a welding robot. And there are some really high paying jobs in the manufacturing field doing that type of thing. And there's all sorts of great careers out there that deal with technology. And STEM and STEAM, which are acronyms that are used an awful lot, it's in
Sure.
everything that we do. If you don't think that it's involved, stop and think about it. And this is a great way for us to show kids how to engage in this. this great science.
Yeah. Very exciting. So when did that program start?
So we started the program in 2021, and
Okay.
we served just a few hundred children.
Hmm.
And in 24, we have already served nearly 13,000
Wow.
individuals
Yeah.
with Invention Scouts. And we've got some great partnerships. Collective for Youth, we are a partner with them now, and we're in some after school programs with them. The North Star Foundation, our team is helping with some robotics and some other programming, North Star. And we're finding that this program is being accepted widely in other places, mostly because we've got a really good team and
Yes.
they're willing to go into schools, into organizations and teach this versus give an organization a kit and said, here's a lessons plan, good luck.
Right.
And people make all the difference in the world. Our volunteers make the difference in the scouting experience that we offer. And the 102 counties we serve, our team doing Invention Scouts, they're really the key to the success of this program.
Right. Now, for folks watching, and those, I mean, I know so many people support your organization, and for Invention Scout, can people, I mean, when people donate to you, I mean, I'm just asking this because I don't know. Can they give directly to a program, or do they give to all programs? Because people want to give back, and I know there's some people that are also interested in certain pieces, So
Those are great questions. So donor designated dollars are things that every nonprofit hopes for, right? They're looking for in order to help take care of
sure,
specific programs. The undesignated dollars, though, help the broad organization.
sure,
So if there's a donor that's really interested in supporting our Invention Scout program, of course, then we can find a path to have their dollars go specifically to help support that program. But every dollar that comes in that's undesignated helps support the overall organization and the 20,000 plus children that we have impacted in this 102 counties that we serve now, throughout Nebraska and Iowa and Union County, South Dakota. That's really the most beneficial.
sure. No, absolutely. And when you look at 2025, and you'd mentioned that you're starting the giving, the donation season or whatnot for as we get into the holidays. But then at 2025, um, what are I mean, I know people can donate financially. Are there other ways that people can help the scouts and help the organization?
Absolutely, there is, and most of that is by volunteering your time, and
Mm,
that's the most precious resource any of us have to give, right?
yes.
And an hour spent with a youth in a school, mentoring them and teammates, is an awesome thing to do. An hour spent with 6 kids in a scout meeting once a week is spreading the impact of that volunteer now amongst 5 kids. Maybe they don't get as much one-on-one time, but the
Yeah.
peer-to-peer influence that happens and that mentor and with that group, and there's typically 2 volunteers that are doing that, that's an awesome thing. And especially for those folks that have been involved in scouting in the past, our alumni, there's more than 22,000 Eagle Scouts that currently live in Metro
Wow.
Omaha. That's a lot of alumni, just Eagle Scouts. And there's more Life Scouts than there
Right.
are Eagle Scouts. So there's a huge opportunity for volunteers to get involved, whether it's an hour a week to help lead a meeting in a Cub Scout pack or in a scout troop, or whether it's somebody that will teach a merit badge for us or is willing to be on camp staff, or we've got 100 different ways that people can volunteer.
Wow. And I think, like you said, it's so important having that whether it's one-on-one time, or volunteering for a group, it really impacts, that impact and that connection goes so far out. I mean, the ripple effect really, we don't even know what we don't know the impact because it ripples, like I said. Yeah.
You hope at some point that a youth would say something about what the impact you've led. The greatest example I have is I was a lifeguard on summer camp staff for 3 summers when I was in high school and college, and was at the mall during Christmas with my family, and was walking down the mall, and I had a kid from camp stop me, call me by name, and recant what I did for them that summer during camp. And I couldn't remember the youth's name, but because he was in my canoeing merit badge class that
Right.
summer, he got a great experience and then took a canoe trip down one of the rivers in Alabama and had a wonderful experience.
Yeah.
And we see that so often from the older we get, but
Yeah.
that instant gratification that comes from a volunteer hearing from a youth, hey, thank you so much for giving your time. This is how you've impacted me. Our folks really need to hear that more often.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a great message and a great reminder for all of us that definitely people throughout our lives have impacted us. And we don't forget those stories. We don't forget that. But what we do forget to do sometimes is then to mention it. So everyone, if there's somebody that you can reach out to easily, I would, even if it's been decades, go for it. Or if you see someone at a mall that you haven't seen for for a long time that impacted your life, let them know. That's a great story. Thank you for sharing. Uh, well, we've just got a couple minutes left. What else? Yeah, what else would you like to share with us?
It's never too early to start thinking about summer camp and what your youth
Yeah.
is going to do next summer. We've got programs that will start the first full week of June and run all the way through the third week of July, except for the week of 4th of July. And it's never too late to get your scout and your scout age youth involved in one of our programs and have them attend summer camp. It's this is a game with a purpose that gets parents off the bleachers and onto the field of play. And if more
Yeah.
parents would get involved, you don't necessarily have to volunteer your first year, but get involved with your kid. I've been really
Right.
fortunate that all three of my daughters, notice I said daughters, have
Yes.
been involved in scouting. My two oldest are Eagle Scouts. And some of the greatest times that I've had have been with my children have been in scouting because it's an opportunity to bond one-on-one with them in an adventure. And that's what scouting does for families. In Cub Scouts, it's all family focused. It's driven that way to try to help connect the family together. And
Yeah.
in our Scouts BSA program, which was traditionally the Boy Scout program, offers that self-driven program that's all about discovery and adventure for youth, both male and female. We've got all female troops. We've got all male troops. We are piloting a co-ed program with 10 units here in Metro Omaha and a couple rural units in Iowa. So we'll see how that goes, but it's an opportunity to engage youth. And from a
Right.
family perspective, sports is really important. They're going to learn sportsmanship. They're going to learn the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat, but they need the leadership that goes along with it. And if you can combine sports along with scouting activities, because you can come and go for scouting during sports seasons, you're
Mhm.
going to get a better, well-rounded young person
Absolutely.
able to go into life.
Yeah, and you mentioned, the families and the adventure, and I think a lot of times, especially now in today's world, that adventure piece with your family that's missing, because everybody's so busy. And what a great to just naturally have that incorporate into your life through scouting. So really great message to hear. Okay, well, again, we've got the big give luncheon coming up on Wednesday. I keep wanting to say November, but it's December. We're already past the 4th, December 4th. So go online to check that out, but also go online to also find out all of the wonderful programs and ways you can contribute, volunteer to scouting. So, Chris, thank you so much for joining me today.
Andy, thank you for the time. It's always a pleasure to be on your show.
You're welcome.